So I started off to make this video thinking about this Starfort because I always thought it was a good one to start with if you're going to explain Starforts in America. You know, given that it's a Starfort and this is where the Star Spangled Banner was written, and most people aren't taught anything about Starforts in America. But I didn't know where to go from there, and I'm backing out looking at things. And I can do much longer videos, and I need to pick this up, speed it up. I'm new to this, but I want to share my information. And I'm going to show you real quick the way this works for me or what I end up doing. So trying to figure out what I'm going to do next, I'm going, what the hell is this King of Prussia thing? And this turned into a day-long project, but I found 4 Starforts, and I'm going to show them to you real quick. And I'll show you how I did this and why, and just why I do this. It's insane. I'm like, well, there's Valley Forge. Well, what the hell is going on here? So that draws my attention. I don't even care about King of Prussia anymore. How are these connected? So I get in and I'm looking around. If it'll focus. First thing I notice, is we have country clubs already, golf courses already. What else do we got here? We got any more? Yeah, there's more golf courses. Are there more? Yeah, plenty more. So I'm following this line of golf courses because this is another thing you can find in America. Like, what is it with all these golf courses? A mine. A mining operation. More golf courses. These are all different golf courses here. Fort Washington, and this is the other thing about America, there's forts with Fort Washington, but I can't. So I get down, I look. Long and the short of this is, bump in one moment. After much research, hours of research, Fort Militia was Pennsylvania militia. It's where they were hanging out after the British took over Philadelphia. And George Washington made his camp here. That's why this is called Fort Washington. This is where they were camping before they marched to Valley Forge, across all those golf courses there. Um, and it says that George Washington built a small temporary fort on Fort Hill, but I couldn't find it. I researched, looked, got down, looked, went all through this park. Long and the short of it, what I found was this. First, I came across this picture. It's significant because of Edge Hill and Sandy Run. And this, you can't see it here, but I downloaded and enlarged it. This looks like Starfort with a small town inside. This all becomes relative as I put the pieces together. So I'm looking for that Fort Hill that I can't find. This is interesting. This proves to be quite factual picture based on a map that I find later on, but I run across this. This is George Washington's headquarters in the same location. While the militia was camped out up on that hill and he built a small hill, this is where he was staying. This Enneman House, Washington headquarters in White Marsh. This is 2007. This has got to still be there. I'm thinking it's a historical marker, landmark. You got to be able to find this somewhere. I found it. This is all going to connect in a second. Skip these 2 pictures. This just all happens to be on the same page. So that guy on the horse was on this hill, looking out up through this valley. This is Edge Hill over here, and this is that sandy run in that picture. This is giving me reference points now. And we have the Starfort. And another Starfort. This turns out to be Fort Hill. I'm going to show you all this in a second on Google Maps. But I just want to show you what we're going to be looking for and looking at. Apparently there used to be an island here. This actually still exists, but it looks like there used to be a canal through here. They either filled it in or this used to be a canal, but it's still quite apparent. I started finding these landmarks. This is how I found these locations. Let's go back and I'll show them to you. Oh, and the river became important. I started realizing that these things were accurate because that picture was accurate here. This is accurate. I found this island. I found the creek. Then I found the Starfort. Uh, this is already taking longer than I meant, but couldn't find it because it really wasn't in the park. It's up and over in here, and it's not popping up. The creek runs up through here. It's right here. Fort Washington, Fort Hill. Focus. I believe that was the old fort. Somewhere in here, or maybe this is right here. More clear. And or that. Anyways, this Fort Hill, that's that old fort. But let's back out a second. So now I have reference points. You can see it. Actually, it was here. You see it clearly from the sky. It's giving me reference points. Of course, we have golf courses in the middle of. I guess we need to back out of here more to see the reference points. Edge Hill disappeared on me. Here we go. Edge Hill's down here. Now I moved too far out. The golf courses threw me off. Anyways, we're just going to look at it. Found it. I dug. I had to look. Nowhere does it tell you this. Enneman Way. Remember this? Let's go back a couple pictures. Eminent House. Enneman Way. Landmark Lane. This is the house right here, inside the Starfort. Starfort's still there. That's George Washington's headquarters. In here. I would have expected to find it in the town back behind here, but no, he was right up front. And this failed. The British tried to attack them, and they failed. And when they failed, they retreated back into Philadelphia, and Washington decided to march his troops 4 miles over to Valley Forge on December 11th. Not even wintertime yet. It could have been snow. Just a few golf courses away. So there's from here, they marched from Fort Washington to Valley Forge. Across this, probably there's golf courses here, you know, who knows. I did want to show you the other part to this story. We get down further in. The general, I want to keep it short. I want to show you 2 more Starforts that nobody else will show you. I found this other map. This is where the guy in the British was hanging out. The Americans couldn't take this house. Couldn't take the house. The British couldn't take the Americans, so they both just gave up. And then the British gave up Philadelphia, went back to New York, and then George Washington moved out of Valley Forge. They hung out 16 miles away from each other for 6 months. Never fought each other. But this is what I wanted to show you. Found this map. While the commander of the British Army was hanging out in Pennsylvania, the second in command, Cornwallis, who later surrendered in Yorktown, had secured the city on the New Jersey side, and he was camped out at Fort Mercer right here. And then there was this other Starfort down here in the bottom picture, end of the picture, that turned out to be Billingsport Fort Billingsport. And I'm going to show you those two real quick. They are right across from Fort Mifflin. Oh, and I didn't point that out, but in that map, we'll go back in a second. Maybe. Give it to me. Again, we have a nice little golf course going on, but Fort Mercer's actually up over here. We have Fort Mifflin here, which is on the map. That map I just showed you, and this island, these are all still there. Fort Mercer, I can't see anything on Google Earth. It'd be interesting to be on the ground as to what's still there. And then this Billingsport is down in here, and the reason I never found it before is because it's buried in this place. Let's back out a second. It's literally buried in this park. Oh, Fort Billings Park. Fort Billingsport, right out here. Buried in this tank farm here. Doesn't seem to be anything left. This is also not far from a fort I haven't been able to find that's on a Swedish map shown down in here. And that's not far away, but I don't think they're the same. But anyways, this is what I found. Just wanted to do this quick. Hope you like what you saw. I'm going to keep posting more like this.